Hello everyone in Oneness, thank you so much for watching this video. This video is part 2 of us talking more about what's going on with the balancing of the trilogy creation energies, the balancing of divine masculine, divine feminine, and Christ consciousness, otherwise known as oneness consciousness. And basically we're kind of breaking it down in terms of what these energies are shifting into as we move into this new space of creation and creating our realities based upon these balanced energies that we're now harnessing within us. This has a lot to do with the internal energetic pole shifts that are happening in order to really balance out those energies within us. This is part 2, and in this video we're going to talk more about oneness consciousness. What is oneness consciousness? We've been talking about Christ consciousness in terms of the trilogy energies throughout this past year of 2019. And Christ consciousness, what it became a little bit more clear for me is that Christ consciousness is the embodiment of oneness consciousness that everyone is moving into when you step further into 5D. This is very similar to, it's called Christ consciousness because Jesus Christ held that Christ consciousness in the way that he was able to express his connection to that greater oneness consciousness. And so essentially we're all just tapping into that oneness consciousness, and it will be integrated within us in our own unique way as we connect deeper to our inner divine source being that we hold within, and then it will then be expressed through us in our ability to hold that that oneness consciousness expressed through us as Christ consciousness energy. More so Christ's expression is kind of what's coming through. We tap into the oneness consciousness and we integrate it within through the connection to our inner divine source being, and then it is expressed through us in the form of Christ expression. Interesting, that just came through. If you haven't yet watched part 1, I'm going to put a link to that video below. And again, in that video, we speak more about the divine masculine and feminine balance shifts going on. Be sure to watch that video first before getting into this one. So now we want to talk about what is oneness consciousness, because it's easy to understand that oneness consciousness is part of a greater whole, is part of connecting to the source within. But now, how are we supposed to apply it to our realities and experiences? But also what came through is how this works in our co-creation with others. A whole bunch of things came through, so I'm just going to read through what came through. And basically, in that greater macro level, oneness consciousness is a vortex where you align to the source within. That's easy to understand. But how can we apply that to our experiences and what we're going through in this process of ascension? Aligning to the source within is aligning to balance, wholeness, and knowing that all is truly well. Oneness consciousness is open knowing that you are source having a physical experience, and knowing all that you know of source, you know that you are capable of not only creating your reality and creating worlds, but you are capable of creating universes. The source within your now moment is experiencing through you, and in your ability to open and view through the lens of oneness consciousness, you are opening and viewing ways in which the source within you would like to experience expansion into an even greater wholeness. Meaning, even source, in all of its wholeness, is still desiring expansion into something much, much greater. This greater expansion that source desires on that much greater level is coming directly from and through your physical experiences here as you. Oneness consciousness is understanding how your reality is offering you expansion, and how you are not only yourself in your reality, but you are everything else as well. You are source, creating your reality and experience, but not only that, You are Source, creating the world in which you exist in, as well as the universe in which your world exists within. And so, what feels like a co-creation between you and others in your experience is so, that's for sure, yes. But this co-creation with others also opens an energetic flow that you, as a Source creator, can also open shifts and changes to based upon your tools of creation, meaning vibration, frequency, and energy. Again, kind of saying that you as co-creating with other people, yes, that's happening. You are co-creating an experience, but at the same time, you as a Source creator can still shift the experiences that you're co-creating with other people because of your ability to utilize your tools of creation, which is vibration, frequency, and energy. Everyone is a Source creator, and so your ability to co-create with others opens a field of Source creators that play together. When everyone realizes their ability to create with the strength of Source, a very interesting thing happens. The underlying energy begins to shift so that the vibrational playground that your reality exists within opens a very flexible grid upon which you create. If one person desires something and it opposes what another person desires of the same thing, the grid upon which you create will bend to your desire because you create your reality, and the co-creators of your experience also act as players in your reality as you do for them. But the grid upon which the other person creates will also bend to their desire as well in their perception and interpretation of their own unique reality, world, and universe. This creates a split in realities, but not parallel realities. It doesn't create a parallel reality for you as co-creators. Rather, it creates a split in vibrational frequencies of the realities that you are perceiving in that situation. It opens you to a playground of realities that bend to your desires to create. You are still co-creating with others because you are all still in the same vortex of oneness, but you are creating from the vortex of oneness in your own unique way based upon the vibrational frequencies of your desires, meaning that you are each opening new worlds, realities, and universes through your conscious creation in the vortex of oneness. But this is only when you open up into that oneness consciousness space, which is that vortex of oneness consciousness space. But even though everyone is creating and opening up new worlds and realities and universes in this playground space, when your experience is over, when you transition, everyone is going to return to the energetic frequency of oneness. What came through next is when you find yourself in an undesirable situation, it is a convergence of a few factors, and we're talking about an undesirable situation in the oneness consciousness space, in the vortex of oneness. It is a convergence of a few factors. You are co-creating with others even though you are each creating your own realities. And your reaction to the co-creation can find you in an undesirable situation that you continue spinning through your own thoughts and vibrations. When you co-create with others, it's possible that you get spun into the reality that the other person or persons are creating, and through your reactions, you play into their realities. When you reclaim your power, you will spin yourself out of the reality of the co-creation that currently exists with the other players in your reality, and now begin to open up a reality that is generated through your reclamation of power. I asked, in the same space, this is kind of that vortex of oneness space. We're all existing in the same space, but does that mean that in that one space, we're all splitting off into our own unique realities? And what came through is yes, absolutely. It's already happening. The rabbit hole is deep and contains many doorways. You are in a doorway that opens into another doorway, but this doorway is so much sweeter than the last doorway. It's all an illusion, but you are now aware of the illusion and can harness your ability to create in the illusion and make the most of it. What lies outside of the layers and doorways of illusion does not matter. What matters is how you spend your days creating in the illusion, in knowing that it affects the greater whole, in and out of the illusion. This is kind of really important and popping out. Again, what lies outside of the layers and doorways of illusion does not matter. What matters is how you spend your days creating in the illusion, in knowing that it affects the greater whole in and out of the illusion. Meaning that what matters most is your ability to create in the illusion, knowing that you're creating within an illusion. Because as you make the most of how you're creating within that illusion as you in that source creator role and aspect, because you're now stepping into this vortex of oneness, then that is going to affect both you in and outside of the illusion. You're expanding both within and without. This is very much like a group of people together in a room, all experiencing their own virtual reality. You will always be connected to the source within, you as that person experiencing the virtual reality, and you are knowing that you are creating from this greater space. Meaning, your desires to create from a oneness consciousness space is like knowingly putting on a virtual reality headset, knowing that you are creating from the space of source itself. You know that you're the person, you know that you have the headset on, and you know that in that headset, you're creating whatever you want to perceive. One thing to note, of course, is that your playground has laws of energy and a grid that keeps those laws locked in place so that no one is floating out into space when they shouldn't be, for example. But for the most part, your experiences are direct manifestations of your thoughts and emotional vibrations. I asked, how does manifesting from oneness consciousness differ from manifesting in 3D consciousness? What came through is that the difference is that in 3D consciousness, your thoughts and emotions usually control you. Your reactions bring about a cascading ripple effect of cause and effect. Reactions after reactions without consciously understanding how the vibrational ripples are offering manifestations upon manifestations upon manifestations that create more reactions and ripple effects. In 5D and the connection to oneness consciousness, these ripple effects are tamed. They come back into balance, so that balance brings everything back into that 0 point. A place where you are now in control of your thoughts and emotions, and now create through intention and purpose. The experience of emotion in 5D, or the space of the oneness vortex, does not come with the downward spiral, out of control cause and effect ripples of emotional reactions, but rather the experience of emotions in oneness consciousness is supported by the knowing that the emotion that you're experiencing is an effect of a cause generated by something that you manifested. Meaning, deliciousness and sweetness in your experience opens because you opened it. And anger and lower emotions opens because you opened it. There is still emotions and duality in oneness consciousness and 5D living, but the way that you experience it is not unconsciously or uncontrollably, but rather on purpose and in conscious knowing that all is truly well, no matter what emotions or situations have been manifested. Navigating oneness consciousness will not be an overnight thing, but will be something that you will manifest and continue manifesting in your ascending consciousness and the vortex of oneness guiding you. Meaning, the vortex of oneness is helping you to align further into oneness consciousness, through the momentum of your knowing what the vortex of oneness and oneness consciousness is. Meaning, you would not know about the law of attraction had you not learned about the law of attraction. But learning and knowing about the law of attraction helped to put you into the driver's seat of creating your own reality, which added momentum to your ability to create the more and more you utilized it in your experience and conscious awareness. It's like understanding the law of attraction and how your thoughts create your experiences and your reality helps add to the momentum of bringing forward better feeling thoughts in order for you to create a better feeling reality. In other words, when something as powerful as that is in your awareness, it's hard to unknow what you now know. And that creates or helps create momentum furthering what you know. So the same thing happens with your awareness of oneness consciousness. It dives you further into the sea of oneness through your ability to create from the oneness consciousness perspective. Oneness consciousness perspective is honing your inner vibrational guidance system to help you tap into the source within guidance. It's about honing your inner source and manifesting in alignment with your inner source. And that's what needed to come through. I hope it gave you a better idea in terms of the energetic shifts happening due to this entire year of the trilogy energy opening up, and how, energy opening up, everything happens first in that non-physical energetic realm and then manifests in the physical. All of these shifts are happening in the underlying current of energy moving through the collective consciousness. And so how and when they begin manifesting in our physical experience is something that we will experience on our own unique path. Meaning, again, you're creating your own reality and you're creating your own universe. And so it's going to align, the unfolding is going to align with your vibrational ascension. As you move into those higher spaces, being pulled out of that rabbit hole, that oneness consciousness is grabbing hold of you, pulling you out of that rabbit hole and lifting you into higher realms, higher vibrational spaces, then you're going to begin noticing the shifts happening within yourself. As within, so without. As those shifts happen within yourself, they begin happening in the reality that you experience around you. And they're directly connected. And so, again, we're all experiencing these shifts in our own time, in our own way, and unique, very, very uniquely to us. The purpose of sharing information like this, and just in general, light workers sharing your light, your information, your knowledge, your messages, you holding, even just holding light and holding space in that higher vibrational space, then you're utilizing your ability to act as a tower pole. You are the radio tower sending out the frequencies to help everything else come into harmonic resonance with the frequency that you're holding in those higher layers of frequency and consciousness. And so you help in that process of pulling people up out of those deep, dark rabbit holes and into lighter spaces of where you are, because you are creating that vibrational space for other people to tune into in their vibrational harmonic resonance. And that's just the way energy works. And I hope this gave you a little bit of a better idea in terms of the shifts happening with the trilogy energy and how everything's coming more into balance. And again, I can't stress this enough that really the biggest message coming forward for now until the end of the year is how to harness your now moment with more strength and more intention and more purpose, and how to get more into the state of of least and non-resistance, opening up more ease and flow, so that all of these shifts, a lot of these energetic shifts, can take place within you, so that it can physically manifest a lot faster and easier for you. It's so that you can flow, you can open the channels in your physical to allow the energy to flow through and make those shifts without resistance. Because if you meet it with resistance anywhere, then it's going to create a blockage for that energy that's rapidly moving and very strongly moving through people and the collective consciousness at this time. It's going to create blockages if you hold any sort of resistance. And then that will physically manifest in ways that will show you that you're holding resistance, and to let the resistance go so that this greater energy can move forward and can move and flow through you. And it'll just put you into a place so that you're in that vibrationally aligned place of where all of this trilogy energy wants to sweep you into that oneness vortex and oneness consciousness realm, so that you have a deeper connection to the source within and can then create from that space of holding the source within. You then create as a source creator, creating your reality. And that's all that needed to come through. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Together with you in oneness, I am Jessica Delmar. Oneness and love be with you.